On this episode of the Star Wars Time Show, Matt and Nick will do their best to make a slow week in Star Wars sound more exciting than it was. Maybe they'll talk Transformers, maybe they'll talk Diablo 4, they'll for sure talk about the latest Ahsoka trailer and how the show is now being released on August 23rd, and they'll also dive into some more Lucasfilm release date shifting. For those gamers out there, the dudes will also dive into the Star Wars Outlaws announcement and what this game could mean for fans of the franchise. Of course, the show will end with the Question of the Week segment and the latest round of Top 5 Star Wars fan artist features. Punch it, Chewie. Hey, now, everybody! Hey, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Star Wars Time Show. I'm wearing my hat like a slap dick, but that's kind of how we operate over here at the SWTS HQ. Welcome one, welcome all. It's good to be back, even though there's not much Star Wars to talk about that's pertinent, although Outlaws. So that's going to be our bread and butter today. We're definitely going to dig into Star Wars Outlaw from Ubisoft, Massive, and Lucasfilm. That dropped over the weekend because let's make news on Sundays, right, Nick? That seems to be the what video game companies like to do over the summer now that E3's blown up, so on and so forth. But we got the kind of like a story trailer on Sunday coming out of Microsoft Summer Game Fest or whatever the hell that's called these days. And then yesterday we got 10 minutes of gameplay footage for Star Wars Outlaws. So keyed in, we're ready to talk about it, but that's going to be a little bit later in the show. Clearly, if you're here for a Star Wars podcast, you've come to the right place because we're going to talk all things Transformers Rise of the Beast today. That's right. And I know my friend hasn't seen it, nor do I expect him to ever seen it. That's okay. His movie tastes are much more refined than me, and he doesn't have a little kid that he has to entertain every once in a while. So I don't know
how many Transformers. The last Transformers
when did you tap out of Transformers, Nick?
Oh Jesus! I mean, I didn't see the ones like whenever Shia LaBeouf was in the third one, right?
Yeah, so
like,
that
was the last one
you're Team Shia for Transformers. You didn't get down with Marky Mark's turn behind the wheel, or
I didn't like. It wasn't even like, oh, he's not in it anymore. It's like these movies are not good anymore. Yeah. So you will admit that Michael Bay's first Transformers is good, though, right? With Shia, the first one was good. Right. The first one was like I enjoyed it. I saw the second one, I was like, this is not as good. And I saw the third one, and I was like, I am now finished.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better. They got what's the other one like Last Night and some Age of Extinction. Then you had kind of this soft reboot, but it's not a reboot based on my studies with Bumblebee. So apparently, Nick, Rise of the Beast is a direct sequel to Bumblebee, but both Bumblebee and Rise of the Beast take place before the Michael Bay films. So I don't know what's going on. Who cares?
I mean, I guess Rise of the Beast is supposed to take place in like earlier human times.
You know, hey, spoilers, because I know people are on their edge about this film. Although, Nick, I'll tell you what, and I was flabbergasted, dare I say. This knocked Across the Spider-Verse off its pedestal after only 1 week. This movie made like 60.5 million opening weekend, dude. So
it just shows you that like animation in the theaters can only hang on for so long.
Across the Spider-Verse it's a work of art, literally a moving work of art. And in comes Rise of the Beast and its paper thin plot and nothing but robot on robot action, and it rues the day. You gotta love it. You gotta love it, man. But no, there is let's just say Rise of the Beast. It opens kind of set in the past, but the bulk of the movie is set after the Bumblebee, whatever the fuck that is. So gotcha. I don't know how they reformulate the canon of all this, because I swear in Michael Bay's first Transformers, don't we see them coming to Earth for the first time? Like as
I was going to say, like that
was
shit? Supposed. Yeah, like that was, and like I don't know,
exactly,
man. Like,
dude. It's not.
It seemed like it was the first time that they were there. Correct. Because that was right when Cybertron was like being destroyed, right?
Yeah.
Like they were.
But I guess it kind of works because these early movies, like Cybertron, isn't dead yet. Optimus just left to do something. And in this movie,
so
he's
like
all
he's
all feeling sorry for himself because he's like, damn it, why'd I bring the Autobots to Earth and we're stuck here now? We need to be back on Cybertron, you know, that type of stuff. So it's like, but anyways, Rise of the Beast. So does it warrant beating across the Spider-Verse? Absolutely not. There's just a lot of idiots out there that have free time on their hands like myself. Is it a complete pile of shit? No. My kid, Nick, and she really has no stakes in Transformers, fucking loved it. Loved it. I was like, Charlie, what'd you think of that? Because I got out of this, I was like, man, she might hate me after this, because even I was getting a little like, okay, all right, yeah, okay. More robots punching robots. And I'm like, hey, what do you think, Bob? And she goes, I loved it. I was like, okay, well then a win's a win, pal.
Yeah, that definitely tracks for kids, because it's like the big, colorful, flashing, moving things.
Yeah, and there's girls in it. There's a girl Autobot, RC or whatever it is, and I didn't even know Pete Davidson plays Mirage. I mean, he's like one of the main characters, and he doesn't sound like Pete Davidson. But listen, it's I know there's people out there like, oh man, the story, and it's getting back to the roots and this and that, and the Maximals are here, and I'm just like, yeah, but it's pretty much just Optimus, with his speeches and fighting. It's the Transformers franchise. So, I mean, yeah, Unicron and this and that and Scourge is like, yeah, but in terms of a deep plot and emotions, kind of like Bumblebee started to scratch on, nah, this is back to boom, boom, pow, crash, scratch, boom.
Yeah. And you see, like, I wasn't a kid who like watched Transformers a lot when I was young. That I feel like that was like,
that's me. That's my generation for sure.
Yeah, like that was like the slightly older generation than me. So like I didn't grow up with Transformers. I had seen the cartoons before and everything, but it wasn't like a normal part of like my weekly childhood viewing. So when the movie came out, I was like, okay, I mean, it seems pretty cool. Like Megan Fox is in it. So yeah, I will go see it. And I really like the first one. In fact, that's like that movie was what made me want to get my first Camaro.
Hey now,
because I was like, oh wow,
Nick.
That car. Yeah, I mean, like that car looks cool as hell. And like right when that movie released is when they did like the re-release of the Chevy Camaros, because they hadn't been in production for like 10 years. So that was my first car that I bought with my own money. So I like pre-ordered the car. I didn't even know you could pre-order cars, but that one you could.
Nick, these days you can buy a car out of a vending machine, believe it or not.
Yeah, there's one not too far from my house.
I want to do that. I'm not fucking around. Like, I want to do that in my life before I die, because fuck car shopping. I literally just want to be like, bing, bang, boom, and just have it shoot out of a building.
Yeah, Taylor sold her old car to Carvana, but we never bought one from it to where we could like.
So do they just they come with a flatbed and take it away, or did she drive it into the vending machine and it went up into the racks?
So you can get it to where they pick it up from your house, but we just drove it to the place and dropped it off. And they literally had and they appraised the car. They were like, okay, we'll give you X amount of money for this car without even seeing it. And
that goes to show you how overinflated car prices are.
Yeah, especially used car prices. And this was like 2 or 3 years ago when she got her Tesla.
Yeah.
Like she put in the type of car it was, she put in the year, make, model, the number of miles and everything. And they're like, all right, we'll give you whatever it was, $20,000 for this car. We brought it in. They walked around it. They're like, all right, looks good. And then that was it. They gave her the check and we just drove off.
Damn. See, you're not talking me out of buying a car through Carvana. This sounds like everything I want. I mean, We just had a trip, and this is one of the first times I've been inside a McDonald's in many years, and I'm proud of that. Okay, I don't like McDonald's. I'll eat it. Yes, it tastes good, but it's garbage. All right, we all know this. But, you walk in now, they got like huge 42-inch flat screens. You're like, bing, bang, boom, bang, bing. A receipt prints out. You walk up, get your food. That is life for me. Fuck human contact. I love machines. QR codes now are the best thing ever. Anything to where I don't have to be in lines with other people or directly talk to people is a win. So sign me up, Carvana. Let's go. I think I need a new car.
My friend bought one through it, and I think like you can do it to where you go pick it up from the vending machine.
It really, I'm kind of it, but it kind of is a vending machine, isn't it? It's like a big glass cylinder building. Yeah. It's fantastic.
Yeah, no, where you could like if it's like recently apparently it hasn't been doing well, so like there's no cars in these vending machines now. Oh, no. But you could also just get it delivered to your house. Like somebody will drive the car that you bought to your house and drop it off for you.
Do you know, is the vending machine mostly automated? Like, does someone just go like, bing, bang, bay 10, and it's like,
yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Meat bags. We're all going to be out of jobs. It's coming, man. Between AI and vending machine car shops, we're screwed. All right, back on track. But, Rise of the Beast, like I said, listen, it's Transformers. So if you're okay with that and you enjoy just a loud spectacle that does look cool and definitely has some nods to the nostalgia, there's no doubt about it, check it out. Is it a better movie than Across the Spider-Verse, and did it deserve to knock it off the #1 spot? Absolutely not. But hey, people speak with their wallets. Capitalism reigns supreme here. So Rise of the Beast for Oscars, right? It's going to win some Oscars at this point in time. But you got little kids, take them. You'll have fun. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's probably like a 6.5 out of 7. All right. So Nick, on to something that I know you're definitely dabbling in, and it's definitely not Star Wars, and that's okay because we're biding our time for 8/23, Ahsoka, all that fun stuff. So why not talk about Lilith and her lovely new game, Diablo 4. All right. I think we mentioned this last week. I just got my copy, hadn't fired it up yet. I've been playing since then. And Nick, we've been chatting offline in our secret comms here, our ISB chat channel, and he's into it too. I don't know. I know I've said this before on this dumb show, maybe even about Jedi Survivor or that Marvel game I played earlier, but I'm not shitting around. Like, this is real talk. I've not been all consumed by a video game like Diablo 4 in I'd say over 10 years easily. And by all consumed, I mean it's all I want to do. I've been staying up till 2 a.m. for the first time in many, many years, probably 3 years. Getting up, thinking about it. I rigged my Steam Deck with Chiaki, which is like this cool app they made for I think Android, or no, I guess it is for Steam, that allows you to essentially spoof the Steam Deck into becoming a PS5 or PS4 remote client. So now I can play it remotely, Nick. So it's like my little baby. I can carry it with me wherever I go. My druid, my level 33, Bodicus the Great, and I can keep leveling them up. But I wouldn't say Diablo 4 is much different than 3, and I'm not a Diablo franchise freak, so if you know better, please speak up. It feels like the same formula, click, 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 power, click, click, power, click, click, power, 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 click, click, power, click, click, power, 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 right? I mean, that's what it is. And then you if you're smart, which I wasn't at first, you try to follow a guide to work towards a mega build, correct, Nick? I don't know the official term, but you typically want to start working towards, I guess, what you call an end game build. Is that fair to say? So I got my druid. I looked at the guide, Icy Veins. I'm like, you know what? I'm going Earth Bear. So I've been for the past week loving life in video game land in Diablo 4 with my Earth Bear druid Bodicus, and I've been playing with friends again for the first time in years. It's fucking Diablo 4. I love it. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's been really fun for me. It's like one of the games that I was anticipating for a long time, and then I kind of like when Diablo Immortal, that like shitty phone game, came out, I actually was like, oh man, if this is what Diablo 4 is like, I'm really gonna be pissed. But I had it pre-ordered. I played in one of the closed beta programs that came out. And I really enjoyed it. And I've since played through. So I was like telling Matt when I was like playing, I was like, okay, I made a necromancer first, and this character sucks because as soon as you get in boss battles, all of your little demons, all of your skeletons die, and you have no way to respawn them. So that really fucking blows, because that class is like totally dependent on your skeletons.
Nick, are you a long time Diablo guy then? Like, have you been in it since the first? Like, are you kind of in the community? Like, you know all the shit, all the ins and outs?
No, okay, absolutely not. Like, I played 2 for a bit. Like, I don't even think I really finished 2. I played 3 from release, and I played through all the expansion packs of 3. So,
okay. Like, I'm asking because it seems like my one buddy Brian, he fucking hardcore. Like, he's the one that's like, no, dude, Icy Veins, this, Renown, that, XP run. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Just let me play the game. You know, I'm enjoying it. Don't give me too many guardrails here. But it does seem to me like veterans go necro. Is that kind of like a true statement, you think?
I think that a lot of like veteran players are playing Necromancer because the last game Necromancer wasn't a release class. Okay. Like you couldn't play it from the beginning, and it wasn't until they did like a like huge like class release for Necromancer that you could play it. So that's why I did it, because I played Diablo 3 all the way through as Barbarian, and I fucking loved it. Then I played a little bit as a Demon Hunter, which isn't available yet in this game. And then Necro released, and then like one of my friends who's a longtime Diablo player like immediately jumped on when Necro started, like when Necro came out and played that. So I was like, okay, well, I'll play because I know that Necro's fun. But like right now in Diablo 4, it's just like it's a pretty weak class. So then I rolled a Druid because you were playing Druid. I played Druid for a little bit, and I was like, all right, it's fun, but not quite for me. And then I re-rolled a third time as a rogue.
Nick's got 60 hours into the game, but is only about 10 hours into the game.
Yeah, exactly. So like I have my Necromancer's level 15, my Druid is level 18, and now my Rogue is level like 27 or 28. So the Rogue is
you have logged some legit time, my friend. I mean that that's legit.
Yeah.
You so would like, would be end game if you just picked the right class to start, huh?
From the beginning, like I would at least be probably like level 40 or so, 40, 50 around that if I would have just stuck with one class all the way through. But like I really wanted to find something that was a little bit more my play style.
Are you doing the what is it, the Twisted Souls Rogue build, or which one did you pick?
I don't know what it's called, but like there's a guy who streams, and for those of you who are playing Diablo 4, you can earn rewards just by like having Twitch streams on in the background.
No
like if you link your Blizzard account to your Twitch account and watch some of the Diablo 4 streams, you can like earn drops.
A tip
like
from Nick. Check that shit out.
Yeah, so there you go.
Wow.
So I was watching. This guy's name is Wudijo, and he's like the best Diablo player in the world or some shit like that, and he was playing a rogue, and he has his build up online, so I'm just following his build because he was the first player in the world to get to level 100 totally solo.
I gotta ask you,
duo queue.
You just said he's the most skilled Diablo player in the world, and I wonder how that's even possible, because is there truly skill to playing Diablo?
I think that like once you get to like, this is almost like the same type of question that comes up when it comes to like MMOs, and like how can you really be like the best MMO
before
player
you
in the
answer
world?
Here's my take. I would say if he figured out the best builds and how, like looking at all the abilities and how to step through that and how it's gonna tie into legendaries, this, that, and the other thing. That I would say is a skill with and a slight mental illness, but definitely a skill. In terms of the game, it truly is like bang, 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 bang. You just got to be watching your powers and make sure things are going correctly. I guess in terms of gameplay, explain to me the skill of Diablo.
Yeah, I think it's like, when you're playing through the standard campaign, there's really not a lot. Like, it's really just like, just pop your health potion at the right time and don't die. But then when you get to like the progression levels, like when you get to like Nightmare level 4 or like World Tier 4, which is the highest world tier right now, I believe is 4, then it really starts to get into like, are you using your skills at the appropriate time to ensure like your survival, maximizing damage? It's kind of the same thing as it is if you're like a progression raider in like an MMO like World of Warcraft or something like that, because that's when it gets like really nitty gritty in terms of like truly micromanaging every move that you do and like making sure that you're like, you're building your ability power before you're using it and a whole bunch of shit like that. So like that's kind of what it comes down to in endgame, is like truly micromanaging everything and ensuring that like every move you do is the optimal move for like survivability.
So
and
it's still,
outputs.
to me, it sounds like it's more intelligence versus gameplay skill. Like an FPS player, they got to be fucking twitchy as hell, right? I mean,
yeah.
Where this
it's a different type of skill than FPS or something like that.
The other thing I noticed, because I'm slow, and I'm sure there's other games. I mean, Destiny is essentially a copy of Diablo, right?
Kind of, yeah. It's like a first person.
FPS.
Like,
I mean, they got the world events, this, that, the other thing, end game, this and that. All right, I just, dude, I love it. I mean, this game, it's so simple. There's no real bells and whistles. It's not trying to do anything new. No NFTs or 3D this or Ray that or blue videos this. It's just fucking Diablo, and that's why I love it. I have tried Tears of the Kingdom a bit, and yes, it's Zelda. It's great, but I'm always reminded of why I think I burn out and don't necessarily love these bigger Zelda games, Nick. It's because there's no real direction in Zelda. It's like, hey, go north. Well, to what? North to what, motherfucker? There's no waypoints. There's no nothing. Like, you literally, I mean, they're like, okay, I got to go there, and you see it, and you're walking there, and you're like, oh, there's a fucking lake. Can't cross that. Oh, there's a mountain. Can't get over that. So how the fuck am I supposed to get there, Zelda? I don't like that shit. I know some people that's like life to them. Like, oh, it's, hey, I'm just living it. It's like I'm really Link. No. Matt needs guidance. Matt needs waypoints. And that's why I love a game like Diablo. It's like, hey, dummy Matt, you need to do A, B, C. A's here, B's here, C's here. And if you want to, put a pin on it and it'll draw a fucking line on the map for your dumb ass to follow. That's why I love a game like Diablo. I don't want to have to think about all this shit. I don't want to have to think about where to go, where to get the next quest, where to do the side quest. Just show it to me. I'm simple, okay? Hogwarts was another great example of a game that's like, here's everything you can do and here's how easy it is to get to it. I love that shit. But if you hide it from me and make it mysterious, like I'm actually Link, I'm like, fuck you. I don't have time to figure out that I got to walk around the continent to get to this literally like hour 2 dungeon in Zelda. So fuck you, Nintendo.
Yeah, I think that like when you're young, I mean, like I really do think it's an age thing, because like when you're right. Like when I was younger, I was like, oh yeah, like I'll figure out where to go and all that other shit. But like as I get older, I'm like, yeah, man, just like give me, like, if it's an open world game, like just give me the ability to put a waypoint and
please,
like a marker. And then I can go there, because it may take a while to walk there still, but like I don't want to have to fight the terrain to figure out how to get there.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying, Zelda fans. And listen, I got many hours to get into that, and it's going to sit idle because Diablo 4 is the king right now. I mean, this game, like I said, all consuming. If I wasn't dedicated to the 3 people that watch this show on Tuesdays at 5, I'd probably be playing it right now, or at least have it on my Steam Deck going like this the whole time. You'd hear like a click, 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 just trying to get some XP. It's just fantastic. And really, to tie it all back to Star Wars, you know what it reminds me of? Scoundrels of the New Republic. That's right. I mean, that's really what this game is. You get to pick your classes. If you're playing with friends like I've been doing, I mean, they're like, hey, let's go here. And you see my little fat ass running off towards hordes of enemies, pulling them back to they have to come and help me out. And that's really what it's about. It's playing with friends, kind of living that RPG life, channeling your character a bit. It's just good stuff. It's like if you love games where you can see the end, but you can also see you're working towards the end, like progress is being made. I don't think there's a better experience than Diablo 4. Love it.
Yeah, I mean it is a top tier game for sure. So I mean the good thing now is like Diablo basically used to be PC only. Now it's on all consoles.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's no
Matt
longer
said,
a walled garden, dude. In the it's cross play, cross save. It's fantastic. Yeah. So I mean, if you get on PC and you want to play on your console, it all checks out through Battle.net. I've connected with PC players on the PS5 seamlessly, and if they weren't dickheads and had headsets, it would have been even better. But they didn't. So. It's fantastic. You know, check it out if you're into this type of game. You like Diablo 3, or if you just want a game that is going to keep you planted on your couch for a while as you work towards progress, you'll love it. Plus, it's got Lilith isn't just contained to Diablo. I mean, she's in all sorts of. I mean, she's in Marvel. She was the main villain in what was that Midnight Suns game that came out. She's in other lore that isn't just Diablo. So have some fun. All right, I know we definitely went off the rails, but hey, we got to do something here when there's literally an Ahsoka release date and a movie trailer. Matt Palanca is here. Zelda is a better game than Diablo. How dare you? How dare you, Matthew?
I mean, everybody has their own opinions, but yeah, I mean, they're 2 very different games for sure.
Yeah, they're not even remotely the same. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, it's.
Zelda, if you have patience and endless amounts of time. Diablo, if you just want to kick some ass and hit a button over and over and over again and really not have to use your brain. So there you go.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. So, hey, it's always time for Star Wars time, Nick. That's what we sell them at least. So let's get into it. Will my plan work here? Yeah, sure. It will a little bit. All right, so last week, maybe Wednesday-ish, something like that, we got another teaser for Ahsoka. And while, Nick, it didn't, I took some screens. We can talk about a few of the new shots. It really didn't give us anything that wasn't seen in the initial trailer. But the big piece of meat, the big bone coming out of last week's Ahsoka teaser is the release date. And while I usually like to be right, I was off by 8 days. I was thinking this would be, I don't even know why I said 31, because I don't think that's a Wednesday, so don't listen to me. I'm stupid. But I was close. I was saying Ahsoka probably end of August, and here we go. August 23, Nick, is when we're going to get the drop. It does not look like it's going to do any snazzy stuff with the schedule like Bad Batch Kenobi has done. It seems it's going to be a single drop every Wednesday, so we're going to have Ahsoka through October. But like I said, the trailer, you got a few new shots, so Nick and I will do our best to explain them to you. So, Nick, the first one I'm looking at here is, I believe that's Ahsoka's ship docked on the New Republic flotilla that we saw. She's coming out, and if you can see the guy right there, could that be the general? Could that be... Is it Nadine or Maydeen, right? I mean, he's got that.
I think, yeah.
So
it kind. I mean, like, it definitely could be. I mean, it's definitely an older white guy, which fits General Maydeen as well as a lot of other people.
There's a lot of old white guys in Star Wars. There's no doubt about it. Although, if you listen to some comments on Star Wars Outlaws, there's no white people, no white guys left in Star Wars, but I don't know. I mean, I think they're watching a different franchise than I am. But yeah, so this is her docking on the ship, and like we said, this is probably Ahsoka getting some pertinent information like, okay, the shit's about to hit the fan with this Thrawn thing and the resurgent Empire. So New Republic, can we kind of stop with all this kumbaya bullshit and maybe dedicate some resources to potential conflict? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like this Tanner Mielkin here. I'm a Zelda fan, but I agree with how the new games don't have direction. Smart person. Thank you. Up next, and Nick, I believe for people in attendance at Celebration, they kind of got to see this segment, us lowlifes. This is the first time seeing it. And we're talking about the scene where we get to see Sabine ignite Ezra's green saber, and she is confronted by Shin Hati, played by Ivana. Remember, she's going to be Balin's apprentice / whatever. And I guess, Nick, the thing here is, I'm reminded that I do think green lightsabers are my favorite. They kick ass. I mean, I love that green hue. But B, Nick, this looks like this is happening on Lothal. It's before Sabine seemingly commits to Ahsoka's mission, right? Because she hasn't cut her hair yet.
Yeah, I guess she's still got the long locks.
My question for you: do you think this encounter between Shin and Sabine takes place before or after Ahsoka comes to Lothal to talk to Sabine?
Yeah, I mean, because you would have to have some sort of reason for Shin and Baylan. I mean, we assume that Baylan's there, but Shin could have gone by herself, just sent by Baylan to like go there and confront Sabine. And there really wouldn't be a reason for them to do that unless Ahsoka had been there, because it seems like Sabine's not in hiding. Like, Sabine is just living her life. Like, it seems.
Yeah. She doesn't seem to be actively engaged in the New Republic or anything peacekeeping. Yeah. For all we know, she's just hanging out in Ezra's tower. Essentially, she's a squatter.
So, like, it doesn't seem like there would be any reason for Shin to go there unless it was like following Ahsoka to see like what is she up to? Who did she make contact with? Is this person a threat? Is this something that we have to deal with? So it would make it, like, in my mind, it would make a little bit more sense that it was after Ahsoka's journey to Lothal, just to have a conversation with Sabine. And then this may be what like triggers Sabine to be like, okay, well, clearly I can't just like sit on the sidelines anymore. This isn't just Ahsoka being Ahsoka and saying like, hey, we have to get back out there again. Like there's actually something behind this now.
Yeah, I'm with you. And for the same reason, it's like, well, what's the motivation of Shin Hati to go to Lothal and seemingly want to kill Sabine Wren? Okay, that you would hope there's like these new bad guys of Star Wars have deeper motivations than just kill for the sake of killing.
Yeah.
So it very well could be like, hey, they already know Ahsoka's on to them. Now Ahsoka's told someone else. We got to start plugging leaks. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we got to
damage control.
Yeah, we got to kind of stop this before the floodgates fully burst open and the galaxy is fully made aware of the plan to bring Thrawn back. And I also agree with you, Nick. I think potentially Ahsoka and Sabine's initial conversation may not go Ahsoka's way. You know what I mean? Like, Sabine might be like, you know what, fuck it, it's gone. Let's just let it go.
Long.
But then this happens, and maybe Ezra's name's thrown around, and then she's like, you know what, you're right, Ahsoka. We can't keep the heads buried too much longer. So let's get to it. But there has to be a reason Shin is wanting to cut Sabine's head off. And
for sure. And I mean, because it could be.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Your notion that Sabine's not really, at least to our knowledge at this point, mixed up in anything that would kind of make her stand out to ne'er-do-wells.
Yeah, I mean, like, as far as we know, and we don't know a lot about Sabine during this time period, like, she's just been out there. But what I think may be interesting, especially when this scene first starts, is Shin going to have a reaction to that blade? Like, is she going to be able to tell that, like, well, one, you're not a Jedi, so this blade came from somebody else, and two, it probably came from the person that we know. It probably came from Ezra. It probably came from this guy who we're either actively seeking or have had entanglements with in some way, shape,
the other
or
thing
form.
I'm wondering, just because of the light of these scenes, if you remember back to the trailer where, she's looking at the recording of Ezra, maybe that puts out a signal like, hey, here's someone else that knows Ezra's gone. They may be looking for him. Ezra could lead them to Thrawn. We need to take this out. I don't know. It's interesting. I dig this scene. It looks great. I mean, the sabers look great. Ivana looks great with that orange. Natasha looks fantastic with the green. It looks like it's going to be a kick-ass type of laser sword battle. But I was just curious, like, what is the motivation here? Why are we trying to kill each other?
I mean, really, and it's just like a question of the greater motivation behind Shin and Baylan.
Exactly.
As far as we've been told, like, Baylan is a mercenary.
Right.
Baylan's like a former Jedi mercenary who like is just making his way through the galaxy. And the thing is if he really is just a mercenary, he's probably been a mercenary for what? Fucking 27, 30 years now? Like since the fall of the Jedi Order.
Yeah, I'd say getting close to 30 for sure. Yeah,
so like at this point, like the question is around like who hired him. Like,
I'm guessing it's going to be Morgan Elsbeth.
Yeah.
And the other thing is though, like, there's some of the earlier leaks and rumors have hinted that Shin may also kind of have ties to, the Night Sisters or this, kind of the Force the magical side of the Force. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great point. Like, why is it truly just for money, or does Baylan and Shin kind of have some extra skin in the game for this Thrawn op?
Yeah, because now you can look at it as like, okay, like if Baylan truly is a mercenary for hire and he really just is out there, like if he's out there like fucking Boba Fett, like, hey man, it's not personal, like it's a job.
Well, that's as much as Dead Ray said. Like Dead Ray's comment, he was like, listen, he's not like a Darth Vader where he's just looking to cause pain and destruction. But if you get in his way on a job, then you're going to die.
Yeah. So like the question then comes up is like, is there like, what are his allegiances? Does he still have, like, is he like purely just like, I'm a mercenary and this is how it goes? Or is there an opportunity for this guy to be swayed back into a more, I don't want to call it like, like come back to the order type of thing, but like to just be like, hey, look, man, you don't have to do this. Like there's another life for you out there. Like, is there a possibility for him to switch sides, for him to not just be the bad guy here?
Too far, like a Darth Maul, where it's just like they're like so far into that land now that they're not coming back.
Exactly. So, just lots of questions surrounding the motivation. I think the initial motivation for this particular like encounter between Shin and Sabine is probably just like following the footsteps of Ahsoka. Like, where was she? This is where she was. Yeah. Let's see what happens. This person's here. Gotta cover the tracks. And that's kind of like how that'll go. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of open questions, and that's how I like it right now. It's just like leave some of these questions open for the show.
Yeah. I mean, hell, dude, is Reddit still boycotting? Because if it is, we're never going to have new news anyway, so we'll just have to wait for August 23. I don't know if anyone noticed that, but Reddit is on the subreddits of Reddit are staging an organized boycott of their own site because the site owners are going to start charging them ridiculous API fees, thanks to Elon Musk kicking this idea off months ago that, hey, all this shit where the people come to our platform and create content for us, now we're going to start charging them to do it because that's a good idea. So they actually, Nick, it was such a well-organized boycott that they brought the entire Reddit domain down yesterday. It was awesome. Yeah. Like you couldn't use Reddit, and good for them. Fuck these greedy assholes and their APIs and for data. Like I read one of the most popular subs, like the runner. He's like, if I pay their fees, I would have to pay $20 million a year now to run my sub.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck these people. And it's Musk. Musk is the one that put this idea out there. And how well is that working for Twitter? How's their revenue doing? Are they growing in subscribers? I doubt it. It's odd. Like, no. Charge other developers for APIs maybe, but your community? I mean, fuck off. I just got cut off a Hootsuite today for they've been warning me since February. But you got to pay. I'm like, I'm not paying you assholes to aggregate my Twitter when it's been free for 15 years. So, see ya.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, but that's the thing is, like, I've gotten to the point now to where it's like, I don't want it. Like, I don't want all the bullshit. Yeah. Like, I don't want like I don't want the leaks. I don't want the information coming from Reddit. I don't want the speculation and stuff like that.
I might have to just start doing solo shows and eat those grenades, and then you'll have to come back when I'm not. Because I mean, really, let's be real. The reason I play in that, with those fucking sticks of dynamite is because I know it can create content. Maybe get a cheap click here or there, but you're not wrong. I mean, we can always go back to the Rise of Skywalker story. Especially for me, it was even worse where, we were like, hey, let's try it. It's Reddit and it may not be that legit. And so we were reading through it. And then went and watched a movie and I'm like, oh shit. Oh my God. Oh fuck. I'm an hour in. Everything's checking out. 2 hours. Oh my goodness. It's all real. I know this movie already. I've seen the whole damn thing. Nothing hit for me. Not that Tross is any good, but it was even big. It was an even bigger gut punch. Like, ugh. I knew everything. Like any of the big moments I already knew because I spoiled it. So he is not wrong. But I don't think I'll be able to stop myself from playing with fire, buddy. All right. Moving on, I think one of the only other couple new shots featured Ahsoka. The one Nick here, she's doing that, I'm a badass bitch, walk away from an exploding building thing that happens in action shows like Ahsoka. And this clearly is that old temple
area where she's
exactly
fighting,
right, where she goes and
robot guy.
And as you can see, fight one of these Morgan's robot soldiers. So that was it. Like I said, there wasn't much to really dive into here from this new trailer outside the release date. That's locked and loaded. So come August 23. So you'll have to wait a full week to hear us talk about it. Come end August, we'll be talking to Ahsoka, breaking it down like we do on the Star Wars Time Show. Woohoo! All right, we got Bango, B-Mad, Bat, Props, Devin, Tanner. Welcome. If you want to join the live stream, don't forget 5 p. East, Tuesdays, youtube.com/Star Wars Time Show. Okay, on to the depressing stuff of Star Wars. And no, not the clickbaity shit. We're not Star Wars theory where we sit here and put out vomit that you're going to get clicks from the animals of the internet. Last week he was shitting on an interview from Leslie Headland, the showrunner of Acolyte, in which in 2019 or something, Nick, she's like, oh yeah, I don't think George Lucas should be the only one to be able to, create Star Wars stories. And I'm like, that's a normal statement considering he fucking sold it 7 years ago. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, he wasn't the only one making Star Wars stories. So, like, how is that a controversial statement?
Yeah, well, hey, welcome to the YouTube clickbaiters that get 3 million subs and make millions of dollars just putting out grievance culture bullshit about Star Wars. But that's it. You're not going to get that over here. As much as I know that is good, that would generate an audience because divisiveness sells these days. The only thing I'm positive about in life is Star Wars. I don't want to take that from myself, okay? I live a very negative, pessimistic, dark existence. One of the only things outside of my family, my kid, is Star Wars that I can still just kind of always smile and be happy about. So I'm not going to turn that passion into grievance and Fox News, Joe Rogan bullshit just to get some more subs on YouTube. All right? Sorry. That's just how it goes. Fuck people like him and fuck all the idiots that click on that shit and get off on transgender woke fucking Leslie. Bleh. I mean, it's fucking bullshit. I know exactly what he's doing and it's fucking heinous. All right? And then this shit yesterday with, Is George Lucas going to buy back Lucasfilm because of the problems? It's like, what planet do these people live on? Yeah, and what idiots are clicking on that shit thinking it's real? God damn it.
Yeah.
Fuck all you idiots. Not you guys or girls listening here. The other ones. All right.
Yeah, I mean, stuff like that is just like...
It's ridiculous, but that's what sells, man.
It's also just like... It's like he's literally... Like, I don't know what his beliefs are. I've never watched a video from Star Wars Theory because
these days,
I don't watch...
It's nothing but grievance shit, man. It's nothing but... Think Fox News, but about Star Wars.
Yeah, so like I just don't get into that kind of stuff. It's just not for me.
I agree.
And like I just don't understand. It's like if you're not even creating content about Star Wars, you're creating content that's just hate threads about people.
Yeah, to get people bitching about Star Wars because that juices the algo. You get people fighting in the comments. I understand the business. It just that ain't me. Like if you want me to start doing videos about the creators out there that suck, maybe. Okay, but not about Star Wars, not about Star Wars politics, not about Kathleen Kennedy, Lucasfilm. Fuck off. All right. Speaking about Lucasfilm and fucking off, I mean, we got a report today coming out of Variety, Nick, and it's like, hey, the Shell games are beginning. I mean, it just feels like a few weeks ago we talked about like, hey, they locked it in, 2025, we're getting Star Wars. It could be the new Jedi Order, the Rey movie. Well, guess what? That's changed. That's been aborted. It's been moved. And apparently, Nick, now the pie in the sky dream for Lucasfilm and new Star Wars movies is 2. Count that right, my friends. 2 Star Wars movies in 2026 and another in 2027. What say you, my friend? I mean, at this point in time, are we ever going to get a Star Wars movie that's real? On a schedule that doesn't change.
So to answer that question, I do not think that the release dates that were released today are the dates that these movies are going to come out. I don't think that that's a surprise though, considering that this is maybe the 5th or 6th time that these movies have changed.
I can't even count, man. I can't even count.
Yeah, it's like it's gotten up into the point where it's like, okay, yeah, we have another release, we have another delay, or we have another like release date update or something like that. And like at this point, I'm like, the movie will come out whatever it comes out. I mean, as far as we can tell, in terms of like reports on in development stuff, like we know that the movie that Damon Lindelof was working on, he's no longer working on and has been given to somebody else.
Stephen Knight's got that. Daisy's attached, and what's her name? Shamar Damati or whatever the hell.
Charmine. Yeah. I can't remember her last name, but yeah. So they have a director, they have a writer, but it seems like this movie needs to be pretty drastically rewritten given what we
Helen Mirren Ray and all this other crazy stuff.
Yeah, so like, they're basically going from a story that was written by Lindelof as a 60-year time jump to a 10-year time jump. So like a very big difference in terms of narrative and time period. Then we know that the only other movie that we are aware of that is in, you could call it active development, is Taika Waititi's movie, in which he has come out and said, like, I have a really great idea for this movie.
But it needs a couple more acts.
I just don't know how to write it.
Yeah, it just needs a few more acts to it.
Yeah, I just need to actually figure out how to write it. So,
well, I mean, technically you got Filoni and Mangold too, right? So those are
to be honest with you, I completely forgot about James Mangold because at this point, that's in some process, and we know exactly what the movie is that Dave's going to be doing. So like realistically, the one that's closest to being finished is Dave's, but at this point you have to wait for all of the content that is linked to it to release before that movie can come out.
Yeah, and Mando season 4 is definitely going to get delayed at this point because of the strike, so that could push that shit back.
Yes. So that's getting delayed. I mean, like, you could say that these movies were delayed because of the strike. I really don't think that they were. I think it was just delayed because they're not ready yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like 2026, that's 3. So like we're basically a little less than 3 years out from when one of the movies is supposed to
May come out.
One of them is supposed to be May 2026. So we got 3 years. And it will be interesting just to see which one that is, because even in this article, it doesn't say which one it is.
No.
It just says a separate Star Wars movie has been pushed from December 19, 2025 to May 22, 2026. So like,
well, Nick, they're going to try what they're doing here. They're going back to the Solo formula where they were going to show Solo in May and then another tentpole in December. And that's what Bob Iger said ruined Star Wars. So clearly they've learned from their past mistakes. They're still going to try to do a May Star Wars and a December Star Wars in the same year. After, what, if we get them out in 26, what are we talking? Almost 10 years since TROS was released?
7
Hey,
years.
Round up 10, man. It's 10.
Yeah. So, I mean,
out of control.
At this point, like I said, it does, like, these dates don't mean anything.
Yeah, it's all bullshit.
Like they could say there's a Star Wars movie coming out in 2055, and it would mean the same to me as the one in 2026, because I'm like, well, that's not when it's coming out anyway. So, dude, like,
to me, you know, the funniest thing about this article is that if it, let's just say this fictitious schedule actually plays out and, you know, the strike resolves and then get to business. This is saying that the final Avatar movie will be out in 2031, which is, I believe, 22 years after the release of the original. That is amazing. James Cameron, for, you know, Galactic Overlord. 22 years after you start a franchise, you finish it. That's fucking kick-ass.
Pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I mean, like, in terms of these movies, and like for those like who don't know the whole thing, it's like Disney delayed all of their movies, not just Star Wars movies. Like they delayed everything. They
I mean, dude, Deadpool 3's moved around. The Captain America Brave New World's moved around. I mean, this is Avenger. Everything.
All of the Avatars are moved.
And you would have to think, Nick, this is all strike fallout. It has to be. I mean, or they are the worst planners on the planet. Like every producer should be fired if it's not related to the strike, because that's their job. Their job is to produce, keep things on a schedule, get shit done, hit the date. And the fact that everything's jumbled, I mean, this has to be fallout from the strike.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta imagine that has something to do with it, especially considering that like the move, like the shift was only a 6-month shift from for Star Wars in particular, it was from a December release to a May release, so it's not like they're pushing this
Avatar
a whole
3 is
year.
Getting the 2025 Star Wars movie slot, at least. You got that to look forward to, I guess.
Yeah, and here's the thing with Avatar too. Like Avatar is one of those like, it is one of those like strike-proof ones because James Cameron writes the whole fucking thing. So like, I'm pretty sure he writes it. Like it's. Yeah, I don't know if he has.
I would assume he has all these in the can. Like, I think he's had the full thing fleshed out. It just takes him 10 years to make a movie because he shoots it underwater in a submarine. You know, it's just like. Yeah,
so like, I don't think that the strike is affecting that. But for Star Wars, given the fact that like the writers are Writers Guild members and stuff like that, that probably does have an effect on it. Obviously, that's affecting all like other Star Wars projects as well. So.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully the strike ends soon, but I think that like once the actors actually start striking, because I know that they've agreed, like they voted to okay a strike, but I don't know if they've started striking yet.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen. We'll see. We talked about that last week. They're definitely on board, but I don't think they've pulled the trigger. It's just, isn't it weird to think, like, you know, you're an older fan, you were there with George, you saw the sale, but you got to remember, look, George stopped making movies in 2005. We didn't get the next one till 2015, and it took him selling the franchise to get a new movie. We're essentially looking at a potential another 10-year gap, and Disney has had the license. They've had plenty of talented people attached to it. What is going on over there? What is going on?
Yeah, there's definitely, and I think that the main issue is that they shifted their focus from
the TV I think the TV it was TLJ, Solo, Disney Plus. That's it right there.
Yeah. I mean, you had such a huge explosion of love for The Mandalorian that was shortly after the debacle that happened with TLJ and everything else after that. So, and then at the time, like, people were looking at Disney Plus streaming numbers and they're like, this is the fastest growing streaming service on the planet. Like, it's catching up to Netflix.
You're losing money. You're not making any money, but you got lots of subs.
Well, that's what happened now is like they were like, holy shit, the numbers are going up, up, and up. And then they realized like, oh, even though these numbers are going up, up, and up, the dollars aren't going up, up, and up. So after they saw that like streaming is a very hard venture to make money off of consistently, they were like, okay, well, maybe we put money back towards the film wing of things. And then it's just hard to do film now. Like, I don't think it's as easy to make movies now as it was like, you know, even 10 years ago, even when, you know, when TFA came out, I think it's just harder.
Well,
like, I think it's harder
they
to make
still
movies.
Force everyone to go through COVID protocols. Like you got to test every day, wear masks every day. That's a huge expense, especially on a big project like a Star Wars. Maybe they'll stop doing that. Who the fuck knows? But yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, the whole industry has changed because of streaming, COVID. It blew everything up. Like, cinema is not cinema anymore. People like me are always going to go to the theaters, but people that weren't diehard moviegoers before are probably never going now because they can just wait a couple weeks. I mean, shit, Fast X you can watch right now. It hasn't even been in the theaters more than a month. Most movies these days they're out so you can watch them at home within 30 days or less. The Disney movies sometimes 40-45 days. I mean, hell, Avatar just hit Disney Plus I think recently. Ant-Man's on there now.
I mean, if you think about it too, it's like the numbers just came out. Production costs for Andor $250 million. Like, that's the $250 million for a television show. And for a television show that was probably the least watched Star Wars show out of all.
Yeah, that show, as great as it is, as well done as it was made, that show did not generate $250 million of revenue. Absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
You know why? Because like when you put $250 million into a project, you're like, you're expecting to make some of that back in like merchandising or in, you know, like something post-release that you could like still get a revenue
every
stream
movie
from.
in Serbia. I like that one.
Yeah, I mean, like, and Andor didn't have that. So just think, so it's $250 million to make Andor, which was the least watched Star Wars show yet. How much do you think it costs to make a movie? Like, it's going to cost you at least that to make the movie. And then when you do a movie, you not only have production costs, you have like much higher
crazy. I mean, dude, a lot of times I've heard a lot of that $250 million is marketing. I mean, or whatever it took to make the movie, you may spend in marketing just to, you know, get the word out.
So like, you're talking potentially cost you $250 million to make it. It costs you $150 million to market it. That's $400 million that you're in the can before the movie even sees a screen.
Right.
And then at that point, you're like, well, if I don't make $600-700 million, I make no money on this.
Well, dude, Solo. Like, I mean, Solo, I think it would have only made like a couple $100 million to them. That was
it made like $350 million.
Complete and utter failure. It was so bad they stopped making Star Wars movies. Right? Yeah, they made money, but it wasn't enough. And they're like, fuck it.
Yeah.
It ain't worth it.
And it's so like, it's just, especially for Star Wars films, it's getting to the point of where it's like almost cost prohibitive to just fucking make it. Like, you know, that's why people have been complaining about Marvel CGI and shit like that. That's why it looks shitty, because it's expensive as fuck.
I can't even convince my little kid to just throw Ant-Man Quantumania on the background. She's like, no, I don't like that one. It's like, but we got to finish our rewatch. We got to finish our rewatch. She's like, no, I'd rather watch Avatar for 3 hours and 15 minutes again than that.
Yeah. And like Avatar cost $500 million to make.
And it like, made a shit ton. So
Yeah, it had to make what it made to be like, okay, it's profitable enough for me to make another one. Like, it's just like the movie industry has gotten to a point now to where it's cost prohibitive to make anything that isn't funded by a huge studio.
Yeah.
Like, that's why you don't see as many indie movies going to theaters anymore. That's why you don't see as many like mid-budget films.
No, you're 100% right.
A $50-60 million budget. Like, they don't make those movies anymore.
Theaters are going to be blockbusters only in the next few years, like the big stuff, the Transformers, the Star Wars, I'm going the Flash this weekend, the Elementals, that type of stuff.
Yeah, let me know how the Flash is, because I've heard a lot of mixed reviews.
Yes,
earlier.
Yeah, we're going Thursday. Me and the little one. She's my movie buddy. It's PG-13. She'll be okay. She lives with me, for Christ's sake. I mean, it can't get much worse than that.
She's heard worse in the household.
It can't get much worse than that.
I mean, in terms of Star Wars movies, like, I'll be happy when they do come out, but I'm not like holding my breath on any of these.
Yeah, me neither.
Like, because there's just no reason for me.
Yeah, we got.
It'll come out when it comes out, and
there we go.
Maybe by the time it comes out, it will actually be 10 years from the last one, so you won't even have to do any aging for Daisy. Daisy will just be 10 years older than she was.
I think that's what we're headed for. There's no doubt about it. I mean, hell, I've heard rumors from unreliable sources that Alden may be Han in Dave's movie. And they may
fucking do it.
They may CG Leia or something. So who knows? We'll see.
I really do. Like, I thought, like, I was a fan of Alden's work in Solo. I think that a lot of people who have come to that movie,
this pride stuff, where all this shit's been around forever, but it's in their focus right now. And because TLJ offended a group of fans, they took it out on Solo, and that's pretty much what happened. Usually the people that bitch about canceling are the ones that do the canceling. And I'm talking to all you, and I love this term. I didn't come up with it. It's fantastic. I ask everyone to use it, but the Y'all-Qaeda, it's a real thing in this country. Those that kind of subscribe to the Southern values, you guys you waste a lot of fucking brain power. That's all I'm going to say. I really don't know what is up with your life that you got to dedicate so much energy to other people's lives. It's insane. So Cracker Barrels should have a lot less traffic. You can get Bud Light wherever you want it. Target should be less crowded thanks to the Y'all-Qaeda. So have fun, people.
I didn't even know Cracker Barrel.
Oh no, they pissed off the Y'all-Qaeda last week they did something Pride, or they said they believe in Pride, and that's enough these days. Now they're woke, so they're woke like Target and everybody else. So woke has now moved into, if you just even recognize Pride, you're woke now. So okay, yay! Thanks, Donald Trump.
So weird.
All right, if I get too far off the rails, then we start pissing people off. I'll get hate mail here. There's some good comments right now. We'll leave it at that. All right, so yeah, there you go. Don't expect any Star Wars movies anytime soon. I would not even write down these 2026 dates. It's mostly bogus. As I've said recently, until I get a trailer, I'm not going to believe it's real. I can even see like set pics, set leaks, script leaks. Until I get a trailer, I'm not going to believe it's going to hit a theater. All right?
Yeah, no. Yep.
Okay. Sorry, everybody.
Agreed.
This place is fucking nuts. I mean, we literally live in a nutty country. Okay. Well, speaking of the Al-Qaeda, they came after our next segment yesterday. So I'm not crazy. Like, this is the world we live in. But you know what, Nick? Let's talk a little Star Wars Outlaws from massive Ubisoft and Lucasfilm games. You know what I mean? And really, if I know not every fan that listens to the show is a gamer, or every gamer is a Star Wars fan, or vice versa. So, just stick with us here. Bear with us, because I do think this is a title that, even if you're not a traditional gamer, that you may want to latch into, because as someone that's been a fan of the franchise since diapers and has gamed since someone put an NES or hell, an Atari joystick in my hands, this has potential to be game changing for both genres. Because, Nick, to start, Star Wars Outlaws truly is going to be the first ever open world Star Wars game. It's never been done.
Yeah.
Never been done. KOTOR wasn't open world. It was big. It wasn't open. Every level was still locked. You couldn't really just do whatever you felt like it. But Star Wars Outlaws, as it was presented to us, and I've seen some of the gaming media cover, it is huge. It is Grand Theft Auto Star Wars. It is Assassin's Creed Star Wars. And if you've listened to this show in the past, that's what me and this guy have been on soapboxes for. We just want that. I don't give a fuck what it is. I don't care if it's a Force user, a guy with no pants, someone in a wheelchair. We don't fucking care. We just want open world Star Wars. Hell, it was recent as Hogwarts Legacy. I just said, fucking reskin this exact game and just turn Hogwarts into Tatooine or something, and I'd be happy. That's all we've ever wanted. Yeah. We just want to we want to take control of a character. I don't even care if it's me. I don't care if it's an existing character, a new character, brand new, whatever. We just want to get in and play in the Star Wars galaxy in a video game format. And that, Nick, is what Star Wars Outlaws is promising. All right, so like I said, it's coming from Ubisoft Massive and Lucasfilm, and really the best thing about this announcement is it's a year away. That I don't think people were expecting this game to be this far along to start. But before we just kind of get into our own opinions, let's get I'll kind of drop the synopsis for you of what the game is, the official synopsis. So, Star Wars Outlaws, set to release 2024 for PC, PS5, Xbox Series XS. Experience the first ever open world Star Wars game set between the events of The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Explore distinct planets across the galaxy, both iconic and new. Risk it all as Kay Vess, a scoundrel seeking freedom and the means to start a new life, along with her companion Nyx. Fight, steal, and outwit your way through the galaxy's crime syndicates as you join the galaxy's most wanted. All right, so there you go. The star of the game is a female, Kay Vess, scoundrel, joined by Nyx, her little animal-looking friend, and a badass-looking BX commando droid. I forget his designation. It's like ND or something like that. But that's really all we got. We got the lead of the game, the general idea of the game, a kind of like a cinematic trailer, and then we got the gameplay. So I've processed it all, and I'm down. Like, this is, like I said, man, it hit all the marks that I've been wanting in this style of video game for Star Wars.
Yeah, I think that this is something that's like gotten me excited for a Star Wars game again. Like, Jedi Survivor didn't really move the needle. Probably not going to play it. But this one is like, it gives you the freedom to explore the world of Star Wars unlike we've ever seen before. Like, obviously there's there's a 10-minute gameplay trailer. There's still a lot for us to learn about this game. There's a lot for us to find out about its mechanics and what your level of exploration is. But if it lives up to that moniker of like a real open world Star Wars game where you can, like, hey, I'm on Tatooine, but I want to go check out, my Gito or Felucia or wherever you want to go. And you can, like, go there, do missions there, come back to Tatooine, continue doing your story missions or whatever, however it is. If, like, it's truly that level of freedom, then it really does kind of check all of the boxes that Matt and I have been talking about for years at this point for a Star Wars game. And I think that setting it as a character, or having your main character set as a scoundrel and not like some, like a Jedi on the run or some Force user that's, trying to figure out what their galactic meaning is. I think that this is, like, I think a scoundrel is a perfect character to play it through, because scoundrels and people of that ilk have reasons to jump about the galaxy. They're looking for work. They're looking for scores. They're looking for, adventure, for lack of a better term. And I think that giving you control of a character like a scoundrel is the perfect way to really, like, see Star Wars through a new lens. Yeah. So I'm really excited to see, like, what it looks like. The next gameplay trailer that we get, hopefully in December or somewhere like that will give us an even more like wide breadth view of how this game plays. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, coverage should only ramp up because I believe tentatively it's dated for spring of 24. So I mean, it's less than a year away, which is awesome. You are going to have to brush up on your consoles, though. I mean, we have finally reached a stage, even though you still can't really walk into a store and buy PS5 or Xbox Series X. The devs are no longer backwards compatibility bullshit, so you are going to have to up your game for this one. And I'm with you. I mean, give me a second. Vamp for a second. My dehumidifier just kicked on.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about this game is that like you can compare it to other games. Like you could even compare it to like Jedi, like, you know, Survivor, or Jedi, you know, whatever, well, Jedi Fallen Order, as in like you can go to different planets, but it's truly like it's that dream of like, hey man, I just want to go to this planet and I just want to fucking run around.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what makes it exciting for me.
And
it's just I want to go there and see what I can get into. It doesn't necessarily have to be the main story. I just want to like go to this planet and see what the fuck's going on there.
Yeah, like you know, save a nest of Gundarks. You know what I mean? Like instead of destroying a nest, like you're gonna save some Gundarks. You're gonna you know, groom an AOP or something like that in a stable. Yes, I just want to do like mundane, stupid Star Wars shit. And Nick, I do think that's why having a new character and a non-Force user, a non-known character is key. Because as you said, you would be kind of beholden to that person's skill set, powers, and existing canon. You know, if you know, let's say you're playing a young Din Djarin per se in between Empire and Return. I mean, you're still kind of beholden to the story we know, so you probably couldn't do as much or be as open with that character. The Force users, we've been there, done that. Obviously not an open world game, but you're still beholden to, you couldn't really be a Force user gallivanting across the galaxy in between ESB and Return of the Jedi, could you? No.
Yeah, it's just not
It would be as goofy as having Cal Kestis on Coruscant and no one gives a shit. I mean, literally a Jedi on Coruscant fucking with senators, and it's just like, well, he gets away. No big deal. I mean, the Emperor's literally a block away, and Cal Kestis is fucking off in the heart of the Empire. You know, let's go ahead and we're not going to spend any time on this, but it does have to be mentioned these days because of how fucked up mostly men are, white men. Bango nailed it right here. He's joking, by the way. Oh no, not a female lead. However shall we cope? And sadly, that is one of the big stories coming out of the Star Wars Outlaws reveal. Is this, again, this sect, and I do believe, and I hope it is a small sect of male gamers, male Star Wars fans have just lost their mind over the fact that they're going to have to play as a female in KVS in this game. Like literally, like, are there no some tweet was going around, it was viral over this yesterday, Nick, is like, are no men left in the galaxy? And anyone with a brain listed, well, Jedi Survivor just came out 2 months ago, and that starred a guy, and that's his second game in a franchise. He'll probably get a third game. You had Andor, Mandalorian, they released recently too, and guess what?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, Kenobi, those were led by men. It's just like, I really think having Rey be a powerful Jedi fucking broke some of these Star Wars fans. Like they cannot handle a female lead. Like this game is dead to a lot of them. It's woke. It's that dreaded woke that they throw out because you're going to have to, with a dick and balls, play as a female character. I mean, who cares that people without dick and balls have had to play with dick and ball characters their entire lives? Like, I mean, fuck those people, right? Because it only matters what us white guys need. I just, again, it's the same shit with the other stuff. I don't understand why people waste so much energy on this type of shit. Like, who gives I'm excited to play a female. In fact, over the years, when I can choose sex, because I'm a creep, a lot of times I'm picking a female. Cyberpunk 2077, my main was a chick. And I loved it because I was making out with other women. I was making out with dudes. I want to live that type. I want to see what it's like. I like that. I've always been able to play the guy. I like playing a chick. I don't know what that says about me, and I don't give a fuck. It's different. It's different for someone like me who's done nothing but play with people that look like him. It's not that big of a deal.
I mean, I don't get it. And I think that now companies and developers are just starting to not really react to this anymore. Like when it first started happening, like companies would like put out statements, or like they would like talk to their star and be like, hey, put out a video and be like, hey, fuck these people. Like we support blah, blah, blah. And I think at a certain point, they're just like, look, these people are just going to say the stupid shit that they say. More than likely, the stupid people who are saying the stupid shit are going to buy it anyway and not tell their friends if they bought it because they don't believe in what they're saying. They're just like following a crowd of people who are like chanting one thing and they don't know what they're chanting. And they're just like, it's fun to chant.
It's stupid.
Like,
I mean, I'm surprised. So like I'm sure Theory had some intelligent things to say. I just don't get it.
And like, here's the thing about Star Wars Theory too. Like, he's gonna shit on this game until the day it comes out, and he's gonna fucking buy it and play it like everybody else. Because Star Wars Theory is just a fucking moron who needs to say things to make himself stay relevant with the dwindling audience that he has, which is kind of sad. But you know what? That's how people do their thing. So like. But it is what it is. Like he'll buy the game. Most of the people who are saying that they're not going to buy the game are going to buy the game, especially when they see reviews come out. And if the reviews are good, they're going to fucking buy it. And like, so for me, like, I don't give a shit if it's a dude, if it's a girl, if it's an alien, if it's whatever the fuck it is. Like, you're in Star Wars. You could literally have the main character be an amorphous blob with no mouth or eyes, and it would still make sense as a main character because you could just say like he's a fucking alien.
No other sex can be a hero but men, Nick.
Yeah. So like,
you're taking my manliness away from me. You're grooming me.
Like, it's just crazy. But yeah, I mean, like what I really like about this is that if you like, I played The Division a little bit, and that was like, that was Massive's other, like, for lack of a better term, like massive open world title. Like they like really threw all they had behind The Division and The Division 2's very well received games. Really took like the open world multiplayer aspect to like a different level that really hadn't been explored at that point in game development at that time. And people really, really enjoyed it. They also have like another, like they have Pandora game for Avatar coming out this year, or is it out now? I think it came out.
The one they revealed yesterday.
Frontiers of Pandora. So that comes out in December, and that's going to be like another like huge.
I'll check that out. I'll check that out. That looked all right.
Open like game. So like this company, this studio in particular, is like known for their ability to like make huge open world games and make them accessible and really fun. So I'm super excited to see like,
hey, do you think
now
we're
that
getting
they
some
have
chat here, do you think they'll do any multiplayer like a GTA Online at some point with this?
I really hope they do. Because I think that this type of game is ripe for shit like that, especially with this type of character. Because as we know, because of shows like The Mandalorian and other stuff like that, like scoundrels work with other scoundrels. Like, you know, there's a big job coming up. It's like, hey, let's work with this guy. Let's work with this guy. We've worked together before. We've crossed paths before. Like, we need a crew to put together to do this. And like, that was kind of like, even like what we're doing with Star Wars D&D, like that's kind of how this crew of you guys came together. Is like, hey, we need to do something. We may not have known each other at first, but like we're working towards a goal that's kind of like going in the same direction. So, hey, let's work together. So I really like, I think that there is opportunity at the very least for this game in particular to be multiplayer. And I think it would be awesome if you did it in like almost like a similar way to how Ghost of Tsushima did theirs, where it's like hey, get a bunch of people together because this is a mission that requires you to have that. People.
Ghost multiplayer was fantastic. I mean,
yeah. So like, even if it was something like that, where it's like, or like you said, like GTA Online, where it's like, hey, this heist mission requires 5 people to do it. So let's go online, or let's like get 5 friends and like we all like line up as our scoundrels, and then we fucking go do this mission together. I think that there's a lot of opportunity for that within this
extending
world.
Your point on scoundrels. Yeah, obviously they're going to get mixed up in the underworld, bounty hunters, other scoundrels, but scoundrels can also play with the good guys and the bad guys.
Yeah.
So Kay being a scoundrel should allow players to, I would hope, come across some big names on either side of the battle at this point in the galaxy. Remember, we're in between Empire and ROTJ, kind of like where the Star Wars comic is right now. Speaking of which, dude, at least to me, a neat little canon ad in the latest Star Wars. We finally learned where Luke snagged his green kyber crystal, and he actually makes it himself from a clear crystal by having a vision of Yoda inside of it. So how do you like that shit? That's where the comics are at these days, pal. Yeah, I heard some people were like commented on my short. Check them out on youtube.com, Star Wars Time Show. Like, I kind of prefer my headcanon where Obi-Wan just gave him Qui-Gon's crystal. I'm like, that sounds pretty good too. But yeah, Luke, he met this Dr. Kawada who can talk to kyber crystals, and he tried to get him to heal a red one. He transported in it, and in the red one there's like this like throne room of random people living in Kyber. It was fucking far out. But yeah, so Luke's green kyber comes from him taking a clear kyber, having a vision, talking to Yoda in it, the whiny Luke Yoda, like, oh, but you didn't tell me, Yoda. Oh, you're not ready, Luke. Like that type of shit. And as he's doing that, he's in like this trance. When he comes out, it's turned green.
That is something, I guess. When you're writing comics, you really gotta just make some shit up sometimes.
Oh, here's a good one from Bango, Nick, for the game. I'll get us back on track. Do you think there'll be any sort of morality meter in this game, or does that get left to the wayside?
I don't think that they will, because as far as I'm aware, Massive has never included anything like that in their games. That tends to stray a little bit more towards like RPGs, and I don't consider this game an RPG. I would consider it like an open world third person shooter, because then you get into like, okay, well, my morality is dark side, so can I only like, then you get into like, well, can I only go certain places because of the like reputation built up and stuff. Like, I don't think that they'll do that. It would be interesting if they did, but given their history, I've never seen them include morality in games similar to this. So I don't think that they will. And I also don't think that morality works well for this type of character.
Yeah, I mean, Scoundrel, they're morally gray. Always.
Yeah, I would say they work in a morally gray area. Yeah. So like, it would make more sense to me if you had if there was like an RPG that came out that was
infamy meter,
Jedi
like how infamous you are across the galaxy.
Yeah, like an infamy meter would be cool. Like that's similar to like your star rating on fucking Grand Theft Auto or something like that. But yeah, like, if your infamy meter gets too high, or if like the heat gets too much on you, then like, oh yeah, like when you're traveling through sublight travel around planets, like, oh, like people start to like come and try to harry you, like they'll try to fucking take you out, and then you have to deal with that. I think that could be interesting, but I don't think that like a character morality would fit within this.
Sir Dork saying IGN did a great interview with the Game Direct and touches on a lot of this, but Sir Dork, that would require us to have media literacy, and we don't believe in that on this show. Okay,
watch a video.
We're just gonna talk out of our ass and make shit up like everyone else does on the internet. So we'll see what sticks. You know what I mean? I'm gonna address this comment from Devin here because I can clarify. I believe based on my studies in Star Wars lore, Devin's asking maybe Crimson Dawn is in this, and I'm gonna say that's probably gonna be a hard no if they follow the the path of the comics, which are canon, because Hidden Empire resolved a few months ago. Hopefully you've been checking them out on my shorts and the recaps and reviews, but Crimson Dawn is no more. Crimson Dawn, they actually, I believe they fail even before... Crimson Dawn fails before the fall of the Empire. So they fail in between Empire and Jedi. So her plan to take out the Sith ultimately gets foiled, really by the Knights of Ren, believe it or not. They're the ones that kind of put the final linchpin in Kira failing. But Crimson Dawn is no more during this time period. Kira is still alive. She's at least alive through the death of Palpatine, because they do kind of go back and flashback. And if anyone remembers, this all started with two hooded figures talking to this Sava lady who worked for Kira, and it's revealed, Nick, that the two figures are Luke and Leia post Return of the Jedi, so they're both like forced up and all that shit. So Crimson Dawn, Devin, if this game is sticking to the canon set forth in the comics, is definitely no more or just about dead when this game's going to be set.
I mean, there's a lot of crime syndicates out there.
No, those will be around. You got to remember, Dawn, they did some shady shit to try to take out Vader and Palpatine, and it pretty much cost them. So, but that's why you got to check us out. We cover those comics where you're getting lore that you'll never know, like Luke making green kyber crystals because he sees Yoda in them and shit like that.
Yeah, that's something, right?
Something. So we got a lot of people here. Good comments here. You know, lots of. We hope it's like GTA. Be Mad here. What would make sense is a multiple ending type of game. I'd imagine it probably has that. Isn't that like most games these days have? It seems like have tiered endings depending on what you've done or accomplished. I don't have that in me anymore. I'm kind of lazy, like we discussed earlier. Just give me something to click on and a route marker to follow, and I'll love you for life. That's the one thing that'll fuck this game up for me. If it doesn't make it easy to go find all the shit on the map to do, it can go eat dicks right now. Okay.
Navigation.
I do not,
especially in open.
And you are right. It's an age thing. Because I saw my little kid last night. Dude, I think she played Animal Crossing for an hour and a half and just picked up apples and was having a fucking time of her life. Like, look, Dad, look at all this. Look at all these bells I made. Uh-oh, looks like I lost Nick. We lost Nick. Can someone hear me in the live stream? Because I know I've been having thunderstorms in my area. Can I get someone in the live stream? Just let me know if we're even live right now. I guess I should look at YouTube. Yeah, looks like we're connected. Anybody there? Where's Nick? No! Okay, so I'm still here. Nick definitely dropped off. All right, thank you, Devin and Bango. Thanks, cuz. All right, Nick's definitely having an issue. He's not calling back, so I'm guessing he's dead. Yeah, Nick just got zapped by the Death Star, my friends. Sorry. He just got blasted. We'll see if he joins back in. If not, well, that's enough of Nick's voice on episode 266. All right, I'm good. Thanks, everyone in the live stream. I got you. Yeah, Nick, we'll just have frozen Nick there. It looks like he's getting ready to fart or drop a Cleveland steamer. So we'll see if he calls back in. I'm guessing his internet dropped because he usually calls back right away. So I'll just continue on. Luckily, we were pretty much done with that segment anyways, right? We kicked the tires on that. But just to kind of put a cherry on top, definitely excited about Outlaws. I think it looks great. It's exactly what I've been asking the universe for, and hopefully it pays off. I will tell you that the commando droid, I forget his name, ND, BD, I don't think it's BD. That would be stupid, right? But he just looks rad. There's some about a commando droid in a trench coat that kicks ass. That is a hot toy figure I'd like to have. I'll be honest, like, no problems with Kay. I wish they would have gave her a little bit more of a snazzy get up. The sci-fi jean jacket and like that late 70s, 80s hairstyle. I don't know. I mean, it's something. It's a look. But I wish they ratted her up a bit more. R-A-D, not rat. Ratted her up. I'm sure that's a term. So, Star Wars Outlaws 2024 for the big boys and girl consoles. Get some. All right, let's move on. Poor Nick. I know. The show never feels the same without him. I guess I should switch to solo screen. So, solo screen or keep Nick. That's their solo screen, where we keep my buddy here in memoriam. How's that? I think it'll be like Weekend at Bernie's, right? And we can sit there and I'll throw a question to him and I'll be like, answer for him like this or something. How's that? We'll get through the show this way. Okay, so moving on. If Nick's going to quit the show, that was a good segment to quit because it's time for the fan segment. I know it's a short show this week, probably under 2 hours, especially now that Nick has become one with the Force. Oh, I love this shit. I love when technical stuff happens and you're not in the same studio. It's always cool. It's always cool. I digress. Let's do it. All right. Time for the fan segment. We do it every week. One of the only podcasts to do this, where we actually dedicate time, words, energy, blood, sweat, and tears to our fans. So the way we do this, we do the question of the week, which I put the prompt on Instagram at Star Wars Time Show. Just check it out. It's going to be in our stories and in the profile. All you have to do is like our content, so the IG algo at least shows you our new posts. And then once you see the question of the week, go ahead and drop your thoughts. All right, so let's go ahead and make our switch over to the question of the week. That's one of these. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do this. Of course, that's not working now, too. Now I think Nick is just cursing the show here. Where the hell is my Slack window? Oh, you got to be kidding me. You know, it's been a while since we had one of these, so let's have some fun. I like when we have technical issues. Those diehards have been around since day one. You remember the tech blunders we used to have. I mean, it was pretty much every single show you could count on something breaking. Uh-oh! Hold on! I'm getting a call from Skype. This could be him, people. Here he comes. Hold on. He could be coming back. There's the blue S. He's back!
I think I'm back. All right.
That was fun. Because you just stayed frozen there, so I just kept talking like it was Weekend at Bernie's, but I vamped enough. He's back, people. You did it. You put enough positive vibes out there. People are like, come back to the light, Nick. Come back.
It was so Spectrum is the only internet provider in our neighborhood right now, so yeah. Maybe it's Spectrum. You know
what's funny, dude? In my neighborhood, Spectrum always stays up. Breeze line always goes down, and I'm on Breeze line, so you never know. You never know how your monopoly is going to work with the ISP.
Last time I had, or my last internet at the last house was AT&T, and we never really had a problem with it. But
that was great. Anyways, I kind of just put my final thought on Outlaws. I don't know if you have a final statement, but we're about to get into fan segment here.
Final thoughts on Outlaws. I'm super excited. I am I'm looking forward to it because like we said this whole time, like it's the first foray that Star Wars is taking into like a truly open world game where, everything is at your disposal. Like everything that you want to do, all the places that you want to see, obviously within certain limits, is available to you. So I'm really excited to see where it goes. And I think it's in the hands of a studio that has like really put out content and other games that fit this same bill in a positive way. So I'm excited for both. What is possible.
You said they're the Division people.
The Division, yeah, the Division 1 and 2, which is like, if you've ever played those games before, like I said initially, like that's really the first. Like the Division is really like the first console, like truly open world multiplayer console game that had released in that era. Did it have like a focused single player campaign, or was it all the open multi type of stuff? I think that the Division 1 was almost solely focused on like the open world multiplayer aspect of things, whereas the Division 2 I think did have a story.
And I think, I mean, just based on the synopsis and what we've seen, it sounds like Outlaws is definitely story focused, but set in an open world. I mean, Kay, it sounds like she's going to be given an opportunity to change her scoundrel life, like the biggest heist ever in the Outer Rim. She's essentially going to be presented that opportunity by that guy in the trailer that let's not, beat around the bush. I mean, he looked just like Kyle fucking Katarn. Right, dude? I mean, he's wearing the fucking beige shirt with the leather shoulder patches. When I saw it, I was like, is that fucking Katarn? But it's clearly not. I just like, man, they took some license there, dude. I mean... Yeah. Right? I mean, am I wrong? I mean, it's like dead on Kyle Katarn, at least the way he looks in Swago. I mean, it's dead on.
Yeah. They threw some fan service out there for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited for it. So I can't wait to see more from the gameplay. I can't wait to see, like, what I really want to see is like planetary selection. Like, how many planets can we go to?
Yeah, and they said it's new, and based on the gameplay, dude, it seems everything's seamless. Like, I saw a section where she's kind of in a bar playing cards, and she gets caught. And it's like, warning, warning, warning. She runs out of the bar, jumps into her fucking ship, takes off, no loads, right into space, starts like shooting at ships that are coming after her. So it seems everything's like fucking real time. There's no, I got to go to the holo map to pick it, and then it flies me there. It's like, all right, if you want to fucking fly to Tatooine, it almost looks like you can just take off and go. So kind of like the OG Battlefront 2, right? Like not Battlefront 2, but Battlefront 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you could be fighting on the ground, then it's like, oh fuck, I'm gonna go take off and land on a ship. So
yeah, go on the ship, kill everybody on the ship. Hop on your starfighter, go back down to the planet again.
Yeah, it looks
so
great.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I'm super excited for it.
Although at this point in time, now I want a Star Wars game that's like Diablo 4. Yeah, just fucking hack and slash. RPG, hack and slash action RPG. Click, 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 click.
Power, click, 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 the Star Wars license, man, is like the Star Wars license allows for so many different game types to be made. Like, there's so many different game types that
and look what EA did. They did so many amazing things with it. They made Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, Battlefront 2, and
Battlefront 1.
And Squadrons. Yeah. Look at all those different types of games they did. You're not wrong. I mean, it's like, come on, people.
Killed it. Yeah.
But it sounds like Massive kind of took that challenge and ran with it, at least on paper. I mean, this sounds as fresh as we've ever gotten in the form of a Star Wars video game. Yeah. Yes, be mad. We all need fast travel, but it is cool that you can just take off and go into space and get into some dog
Maybe
fights.
They're like in open world games, there usually are fast travel
I hope
points. So I imagine
that
some probably like planetary like little save points or checkpoints will have them.
I hate to go back to Diablo, but I was playing with a higher level dude who obviously had more waypoints unlocked than me, and I wasn't at a waypoint, so I couldn't go to his portal to just take me to him, and I had to walk the map for like 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, I'm coming to the world event, buddy. I'll get there hopefully before it's over. There. I'm like, do. And my guy, he's like a big fat rotund druid. He's like, ugh. It's like I ran halfway across the continent to get there. I get there right at the end of the event, but I got all the rewards and credits, so who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? Speaking of female, the only reason I didn't pick a female druid is because she looks just like the man. So I was like, I might as well go with the big swinging dick on this one.
I did a dude for the druid. I did a girl for the rogue, and I did a girl for the necromancer. Well, and when I make my barbarian, I will also do.
I mean, the female druid looks like that. I forget her name, but it's the heavy set lady in Jabba's cantina who's trying to dance with Ula. You know, like she's got all those brown rolls. That's pretty much what the female druid looks like. All right, anyways, we were getting into the fan segment before my friend resuscitated himself, came back from death. He had enough of his corporeal life. He's like, fuck it. I like my meat. So Nick, we're right into the question, and lo and behold, as we typically do, we try to theme the question around one of the topics we're going to be discussing live on the show. So this week's question: what are your thoughts on the new Star Wars Outlaws game? Excited, grumpy, Outlaws for life. This one did not light a fire in the community like last week's Order 66 did, and I have to say, and I love the guy, but Press Paz wrote like a dissertation on Order 66 based on our discussion last week, and he sent it in Instagram DMs, and I just love it. I mean, Connor, he's very well thought out, and he's just like this, but what about this and this and this and this and this and this and this? And I'm like, yeah, it all sounds good, but I really think it just comes down to the fact that George Lucas started in the middle and had to account for the beginning and the end after the fact. There's a lot of people trying to do gymnastics about Yoda's line and Yoda's sitting around and Nick specifically saying, like, if there's all these good guys out there, why weren't they doing anything? So we love it. I love you, Press Pause. But this one did not get people started. I kind of thought I might get some of the haters to juice the algo, but they didn't even want to get involved. So I grabbed them all, Nick. A lot of them are quick. I'll start with the story as usual. This one comes from our boy Rippick. Great little shot today, by the way, from Rippick. He has the Skywalker twins working with Ahsoka. Pretty sweet little dream scene there. But here we go. Rippick. I'm not a gamer, but the trailer looked awesome. CD vibes during the OT timeline. Sounds dope. Only thing is, the main character is a girl, and that means it'll be awful. Ha 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 ha! Just kidding. Oh, boo-hoo, the main character doesn't have a wiener. What the hell? Really, though, the trailer looks sick, and again, not a gamer myself, but hopefully they put out some comics and figures from this property. All right.
Yeah, the figures will be interesting because there are Cal Kestis
figures. They've made
so
Cal figures. See. That's it. They're not like a seer or a mare.
I mean, I guess there's Revan there's Revan figures. So like that's
actually Nick. They're just gonna finish that line. All these years later, I think Malik is releasing. Revan's been out. They're releasing at least light side Bastilla. I don't know if they're doing dark side Bastilla, but yeah, they finally got there. It's only 20 years later, but
yeah, I know.
We got them.
They made it.
Okay, moving on. There you go. Go ahead.
I will take these from here. So this is Scion XTC. He says, looks pretty good. Has me hyped enough to consider getting a new gen console to play, but I'll make a final decision on that when there's a trailer with some gameplay in it. Well, I guess he didn't see the gameplay trailer that came out after the world premiere trailer.
Right.
I'd hate to have the same excited feeling for when Fallen Order was first announced and then that disappointment with the actual gameplay. Hey, I know it was 10 minutes and it is kind of like an over-the-shoulder third-person open world, but you did get a little bit of gameplay. It does not look like the gun weighs 1,000 pounds, which is good. So hopefully Kay will not have any issues picking it up and aiming at people while she fires.
Yeah, like she's like, it's pulling a sledge out of her belt. And every time she shoots it, she falls over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Cal. Although I like you a little bit more now. Okay.
Good stuff from Scion. Next up, Nova Toymation says, it looks pretty damn good so far. This might be the game that pushes me over the edge to buy a PS5 finally. Hey, I mean, like Matt said, and I think that like we may have, like, I've definitely had discussions around this during previous console generation jumps, but like this cross-generational like gap has been way longer than I expected it to be. Like usually you get like a year of, all right, PS5's out, so everything from everything for PS5 that releases is also going to come out on PS4, and they usually fucking cut you off. But this one has lasted way longer than a year.
I mean, dude, these have been out what, 4 years at this point?
I think so.
I think they came out 2019 or close to it. And I've read. I mean, dude, usually
2020. So it's been it launched. PS5 launched November 12th, 2020, so almost 3 years.
Yeah, which is nuts, because typically in the past, at this point in time, we would have had the step hardware would have come out, like PS5 Elite or Xbox Series X2.
Z.
Where they, there's a slight improvement or they reduced the form factor a bit. And I read something, I think it was from Xbox, they're like, listen, we're probably not doing that this time. We're good with the hardware as is. We're not really looking towards a step release in this generation. Maybe Sony's like the same.
These gen consoles are like already built to support 8K 30 FPS. And like, who the fuck has an 8K TV? Nobody. I don't even think that there's like there are definitely 8K TVs out there to buy if you're like really fucking rich, but like you haven't even maxed out the capability of these consoles yet in terms of like readily available like hardware in people's homes. So I don't imagine that they're going to be doing like a PS5 Pro or an Xbox.
Yeah, it seems useless upgrade at this point. I mean, dude, you obviously you PC games, you can build the max, but even with that capability, at this point in your gaming career, do you really buy games, or when you're playing games, just focus on the graphics anymore? Like, to me, graphics mean nothing anymore. When I was little, all we ever wanted was, when we were in the bit era, it was like, I can't wait till I can play a game and they actually look like people. Well, we're fucking here, and I don't care anymore. Like, I just want the game to work and not be full of bugs and be fun. Yeah, I mean, like, I'll do upgrades on my PC like once every 3-4 years, probably, like 3 or 4 years, and usually that's because like that's when I start to get to the point. It's like, if I want to play a new game on PC, then it's like, okay, well, my hardware is not allowing me to play it like on even like not even ultra, but like I can't play it on high. I have to play it on like medium or low, and then that's when I'm like, okay, well, that toggles all performance, right? That's not just graphical. I mean, that'll. Yeah, that's like your CPU comes into it. How much RAM you have. I guess. My point is, as long as a game is performing well, I'm not so concerned about visuals. Like, I'm not like, oh my God, this is the best. And it's weird because, like I said, as a a gamer at the dawn of home gaming, that's all you ever dreamed of. Is, man, I can't wait till this looks better than fucking pixel art. And we've been beyond that for years now. Now I just want it to be a fun experience. Is really all. I don't give a fuck what it looks like. Now it's like, okay, can I see every chin hair? Yeah, no? Okay. Look, there's a ray of light. Like, there's a ray of light right there. It's like, I don't fucking care, man. Like, this ray tracing and this and that. I don't fucking give a shit. I really don't. It gets wild. But all right. Yeah, I mean, it's if you do play video games, I think it's time now for you to upgrade to PS5 or Xbox. Consoles for life, man. No one needs to think. No one needs to install patches or drivers. Just stick to download it and go. That's why I like consoles. Almost zero thought. Johnny Osage Ave, for those of you out there who need to know his full tag. Good friend of the show, was on the show. He says, it looks great, makes me want to retire the old 2600 and get a new console. For those of you out there who don't know what a 2600 is, Atari 2600, old school. Atari doesn't even make consoles anymore. Atari barely makes games anymore. And it's okay to play as a female, guys. Back in the day, there was a little game called Tomb Raider, and nobody had a problem with that. That's because she had big Tomb tits. Raider, she had big old triangle-shaped boobies, and everybody. That's right, the OG cone tits. Yeah, like a lot of people forget the polygon art days of gaming. I mean, it was a thing, dude. I mean, it was a thing. Cloud Strife. There's a reason his hair looks like that. It's because all they could use are fucking triangles. Yeah, that's how. Like, I mean, triangles are still like the mode, or like the polygonal shape that's used to make everything. Yeah, but it's so smoothed out now you can't tell. Like, now you can't tell. Yeah. Like, now you can. Before, it was like one boob was a triangle, the other boob was a triangle, and that's how much you could do. You couldn't use multiple triangles to make it like Miss round. Cone tits. You couldn't make a face round. Yeah. Every face was squarish. Tent tits. So, oh boy. Okay. All right. So good stuff there from Johnny Osage. Next up, Tones 1138. We love Tones. He says totally hyped for this. Emojis. I can't wait. Oh yeah, at the bottom. I don't even know how I'm gonna say this. He says totally hyped for this. Not sure it's total open world like GTA. Possibly more like Tomb Raider, Assassin's Creed, but it looks absolutely incredible. As for the fandom, DUMB, crying about it being a female character, fuck off.
bet you played Tomb Raider didn't cry like a bitch. A lot of people bringing up the Tomb Raider. I mean, they are right. Yeah. Tomb Raider was like the OG, like female heroine in gaming. Like that was Lara Croft. Just give up on Star Wars, you moany, twisty fucks. It's Star Wars. It's new content. You haven't played it yet, but you're bawling like a baby. Go into a dark cupboard and have an angry wank. Then reassess your life. Then go find a new franchise to cry over. Dicks. And then he gives you the middle finger emoji. He gives you the fist emoji, and then 3 squirts of water emoji.
Yeah, is that like jerking off or something? I don't know. I like it though.
Maybe that's the crying tears. There we go.
I love it. I love it. Humans yelling at other humans is sometimes the most fun thing ever, especially when it's not you being yelled at or yelling.
Exactly. Oh man, Lorect Historical Legion says, or Lurk.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, hold on, Nick. Samus, literally, she's the OG. I mean, way back in the 80s.
Oh, Samus. Oh, yeah. Well, I will say that like people didn't know Samus was a woman until the 3rd game, right?
Well, yeah, these days, like if that happened, these idiots they get their phone, they take their Nintendo outside, and they'd light it on fire. Oh, never. Yeah, Nintendo's gone. Whoa. Metroid's gone. Whoa. I never bought it again. Losers.
Yeah. So, yes, good call, though. Samus was the OG. Good shit. But anyway, Lurked Historical Legion says, excited. I enjoy non-Force-centric Star Wars as much as I do with Force wielders. It's all about balance.
All right.
Good stuff. And then your good buddy, EKU Rory, says, only if it has Jar Jar. I'm pretty sure, Rory, that at this point Jar Jar is dead, so he would have to be
or turning tricks on the streets of Mos Eisley.
So we'll see. Maybe you'll pass him one day when you're just strolling down the street as like a peddler.
Oh man, that's always fun. I really, one of these days I just want to do the question a week for 2 hours straight. I wish we could get more responses. Like, to me, I think a fun show, I don't think you would like it, but it would be to just read shitty Star Wars comments for like 30 minutes on other, people's posts. I think that'd be fun. Kind of like, the Kimmel and them used to do angry tweets where you just read shit out and kind of have a laugh. Okay, well.
That could be fun. Yeah. That could be fun. I have seen stuff like that. It's like the person, like it would almost be like if we can get a guest on. Like if we did it with Nick Gillard, it's like, okay, Nick, what we want to have you do now is read all of the shitty things that people said about the combat
how bad you suck at whatever. He'd probably find. Remember, I had to self-admit to him that I was one of those assholes live during the interview, but I was like, all right, Mr. Gillard, you've corrected my stupid thinking. Sorry.
And then when he like actually explained it, like when he like stood up and like broke down the fluidity of movement in it, you're like, okay, well, I can't fucking argue with it now.
That was the best, dude. You got, if you're new here, we interviewed Nick Gillard, the stunt coordinator for the prequels. Shit, probably 3 years ago at this point. And he was a peach. He's fantastic. He loved us, so he opened up. We got some great stuff out of him. That other sites have covered since then have gotten massive followings and views. But hey, we were the first. He kicks ass. He really did. He put me in my place. I was like, he's like, oh yeah, really? Yeah, that's why I did it. It's like, yeah, you're right. Okay, I'll shut the fuck up.
You're like, okay, you are an expert and I am not. So I cede your point. But no, I mean, it is fun to do shit like that and like just kind of, I mean, like we typically poke fun at people for their opinions on this show whenever like stuff like that comes up, especially this time with Star Wars Theory because he's a weird incel guy. But like, I mean, like it's always, and I'm sure people do it with us too. I'm sure if people like listen to us and they don't agree with us, they make fun of us for it. And you should. Well, hey, you should always make fun of people.
That's the benefit of having zero audience. No one hears it anyways. Yeah. I could sit here and say whatever I want. No one's gonna know, but like nobody's gonna know. About 100 people.
So anyway, thank you all for participating in this week's question of the week. Obviously not a ton of Star Wars going on now, but it's good to see that some people out there are excited for Outlaws, even though there's a lady at the helm. how could she even fly a ship? Everybody knows that women can't drive, right? Boom.
There you go. Ho! She should be in the kitchen making blue milk. Ho!
All right. So now we're moving on into the top 5 Star Wars fan artist features of the week. If you want to get involved in this little segment here, make sure to tag us at Star Wars Time Show on Instagram if you post any Star Wars art. And then add the hashtag Star Wars Time Show on your little post as well, because that hashtag usage is creeping up.
Real quick note on the hashtags. If anyone's noticed, Instagram has changed that again. If you follow or search a hashtag now, Nick, all you can see are top posts or recent top posts. Recent is gone. So we still want you using the hashtag, but literally at this point, if you don't do add tag Star Wars Time Show, we're probably not going to see it. Instagram, they're doing their damnedest to destroy hashtags in general.
Yeah, everybody's doing the best that they can to destroy organic reach or any way for you to build organic presence.
Yeah, fuck it.
I
just can't wait I can't wait that Instagram is now like, oh, by the way, everyone needs to pay API fees now. Doesn't matter. And then bye top 5 because I ain't paying shit. You should see how much tech I've peeled out of my life because of these new, hey, let's start charging you programs. Like, all right, have fun with that. See ya.
Okay, I just won't.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, I'm not going to stare at fucking aggregated Twitter now. I mean, I'm going to get my life back. In fact, shit, it's going to be healthy for me that Hootsuite's gone. All right, dude, let's talk about some of this art.
There we go. We're going to kick this week off with at @darkscythe_25 on Instagram. And I got to tell you right off the bat, I was scrolling through the feed and I was like, oh, look, here's a good Sir Dork one making the top 5. And I opened this up and I was like, this is not Sir Dork. This is Darkscythe. And I got to say, he did a fantastic job of like taking the style that Jared is so well known for and like really putting good work behind it. I mean, you have incredible bokeh in the shot, which is obviously Jared's thing. Like Jared is known for that. Darkscythe pulled it off incredibly well. Good use of smoke for the atmosphere. Good use of like background layering characters. So I like overall, like I was super. I opened up. I was like, here we go. Jared's hitting it again, and it was at cool. Darkscythe _25.
Awesome. I wonder if Jared's still here because I mean, let's be real. Jared is the leader of toy photography and teaching people how to do it. I mean, the guy's YouTube channel, Nick, you know, he lost it, got it back. And I think in just the short few months he's had it back, he's added like 30,000 new subs to it. I mean, he's up to like 44K subs. He does lives every week. He does great tutorials every week, unboxings. I mean, Sir Dork is the dude to go to if you want to learn how to do this shit and make them look, you know, popping off like this one here. So hopefully Jared's here to hear that comparison. Hopefully Darkscythe heard that comparison, because I'll tell you what, I know you will make people's day when you say that their work reminds you of the Dork. There's no doubt about it. Oh yeah, I mean, if you look at like one of his, if you go to Darkscythe's page, the shot before this one that he put out was a cat in like Star Wars, like, you know, it's like a cat messing with Star Wars figures. So I'm almost sure that he has watched, at least seen Jared's work, if not watched some of his videos, because that is also something that Jared is good for, is incorporating his cats into his scenes. Well, I tried to click on his page and we have, sorry, this page isn't available. So moving on. Moving on. So at Darkscythe _25 on Instagram. Make sure to give them a follow. Awesome stuff. Next up is a fantastic piece of art from at Savvy Art on Instagram, SAVVYYART on Instagram. And she has shown us a great representation of 3 generations of Star Wars women and their 3 droids along with them. So what we see up first, or at the top of the image, is good old A New Hope Leia giving the data disc to R2-D2, like we see in the very beginning of the movie when they're on Tantive 4. Beautiful scene.
right below her is Hera and Chopper, the duo from Star Wars Rebels, for those of you out there who haven't seen it. And then at the bottom of the shot, we see Rey and BB-8. It's just an awesome, like, you know, it's not necessarily like, you know, parentage generational, but it is like a generational look through Star Wars through their like female heroines and the droids that accompanied them on their journeys. So I really love this composition and the way that Savvy put it together.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Savvy continues to never disappoint. She did a fan-ass-tastic reel probably a month ago where she channeled, shit, man, it must have been 10 or 12 Star Wars female characters and kind of reenacted a scene using their voice as a dub. And I usually like remix that type of shit because I think it's fantastic. I want more people to see it, but she's just awesome. She's one of those Star Wars fans, and I don't know her from shit outside of what she puts out on social media, but she loves it. And she looks like she lives in it every day, enjoys it, has a community to kind of share that love with, and she produces just great content on social media, including this piece right here. And you know, we talked about before, her style is it kind of has that Disney feel to it. We wonder why she's not making jillions of dollars. Not that artists make any money and probably will make even less now because of AI. But yeah, she's kick ass. And this I love when she does these kind of retrospectives, pairing the parallels of Star Wars, George's thing, throughout the various trilogies and decades of the franchise. She's a gem.
Yeah, beautiful work. At Savvy Art on Instagram. Make sure to follow. Next up, this is at 16_lovers, and it's just an awesome portrait of Darth Vader. I mean, sometimes that's all you need, baby. It's because, you know, Vader looks incredible. The way that 16lovers posed him is definitely reminiscent of seeing him in Empire Strikes Back when he whips out his lightsaber for the first time when he's fighting his son. And I just think that like the background diode that I don't know if that's a diode.
Oh,
it's just like straight
Digi.
Digirama.
It's definitely Digi.
Yeah. But he just did a great job capturing the visage of Darth Vader a la ESB, especially if you scroll through this post, like that last post where he's got that fist up when he's talking to Luke, on like the bridge.
Yeah.
Over the chasm. I mean, like he just really like channels ESB Vader perfectly.
I'm on that shot and I'm just staring at it and like, I love this character. Like I fucking love this guy because of that. Look at him. How could you not love this guy? Yeah, he's fucking crazy and he's a psycho. But Darth Vader, hot damn, what a pimp. What a pimp. I mean, the coolest looking character in all of cinema to this day. Fucking fantastic. That helmet, the face mask. I mean, what 16lovers is doing here, my friends, is showing you how amazing these hot toys truly look. Especially if you throw some light on them, pose them a bit. I mean, it really does look like we're working with movie, you know, props here. It's just, it's amazing. I love this character, love the shots, love this figure. One of my favorite figures in the collection.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful stuff. My cat just brought me a kill, Ellie.
No shit.
Brought me a kill.
Well, you get.
Yeah, she does. Like we have.
She get
little toys. So this is what she brought me.
I thought you like you guys have fucking rats or something already.
No, like she has like a bunch of toys. She brought me this.
My cats do too. I wish he brought him. My boy cat. I think he's celebrating Pride this month, but he has. Charlie has this headband that has rainbow colored feathers on it. You know how cats are with feathers, right? So he goes in a room and that, just like yours did, that he will prance his little happy ass down here and drop it and just be like, hello, look what I did. Aren't I awesome? Come pet me. You know,
every time she does it too, she'll like, I can hear her in the house because she'll do that like,
right. She's like, look what I did, motherfucker.
And she like walks up to me and she drops it right by me. And I'm like, thank you, Ellie.
I love cats, man. I fucking love that. I mean, she really is. She's like, human, you've had enough. recognize me. I've just brought you food. Yes. Please touch me. I mean, that's all she's doing. It's fantastic. All right. We're going, little lady. We're going. All right. Who's next?
All right. We're almost done. We're at number 4 in the top 5 here, and this one goes to @KT_collected. So we just had Vader, and now we get Vader's grandson, Kylo Ren. Say what you will about the sequel trilogy. I still think that Kylo Ren is, 1, a cool looking character, and 2, just a cool character in general. And this one kind of captures that same visage that we saw with Vader, except it's with Kylo in his full TFA get up gear. He's got the hood. He's got the unstable lightsaber whipped out behind him, and you can see. I think that this is a digirama actually placing him within Episode 9, the hussed out shell
you nailed
of the
it,
old
dude.
Death
Look,
Star.
Nick's becoming a pro breaking down toy photography. That is 100% correct. Hey, I'm just looking at this again. Yeah. I'm like, I wish Kylo just stayed in this getup. I mean, I know that apparently the story behind the big costume change after TFA is Rian Johnson's like, yo, the driver's a great actor. I don't want to have him fucking locked in a helmet the whole movie, so that's why you kind of have the smashing of the helmet, and then JJ's like, well, that was my helmet, it's coming back, and Tross. Yeah. But I still contend, Nick, that Kylo Ren was at his best, his most Vader-like in TFA with the raggedy, cloth get up and the hood over the helmet look. That's where he looked his best.
I agree 100%. Right. And hey, he looks badass here. And @KT_collected did a great job of capturing.
And dude, that's just a Black Series figure. Like, that's not a hot toy. That's one of the little 6-inchers. So great close up of a tiny figure.
Good shit. @KT_collected. Give him a follow. And then last up in this week's top 5. It's a crossover shot. It's a crossover shot from one of our favorite fans, somebody that you brought up last week as somebody who's really been stepping their game up. And you can see it here. This is @ActionFigureSnaps on the Instagram. And what we see is,
Nick, we said all that nice stuff and still didn't get any new shirts. So I don't know. You're
extorting this guy at this point. You're just shaming him publicly. Adrian, you don't have to do any of that. Also, if you do, my address has changed.
Yeah. Look at Nick. He's like, hey, hit me up. Let me get you that new Austin Addy here, bro. Ahsoka's coming up, Nick. Come on. I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it out there.
I was just wearing my blue Obi-Wan shirt the other day. That shirt is like super comfortable.
Anyways, let's honor his work.
Yeah, let's talk about Adrian's work here. So Adrian has given us an awesome crossover shot between Star Wars and Power Rangers.
Space Power Rangers, in fact.
See, like, I've never seen
Me
Space
neither,
Power Rangers.
but I read his caption, so I'm in the know.
Okay.
I'm in the know.
There you go. But what we see is Boba Fett. This is like old school Boba Fett, none of that new Boba Fett shit that everybody hates, apparently. Old school Boba Fett giving chase to the Red Ranger, who when I was a kid was Tommy, and who is in Space Power Rangers, I don't know. But he's chasing down the red Space Power Ranger, using his jetpack, shooting off his what is it, wrist-mounted? I mean, he's shooting off some of his guns, but he also looks like he's about to shoot a wrist-mounted rocket at this dude.
Yeah. He's not messing around. I mean, he didn't bring a sword to a gunfight. He's got flamethrowers, bazookas, rockets, you name it.
Oh, yeah. He's got everything. It's just an awesome action shot here from Action Figure Snaps. Like the sand particles kicking up from the laser bolt impacts on the ground.
All practical.
Are great.
I saw him blown with a straw. I've seen it.
Crazy.
Checked it out.
Good shit. The posing of the Red Power Ranger is great. The posing of Boba Fett's great. I mean, honestly, all around, just a top-notch shot.
I told you. I mean, he's like leaps and bounds beyond where he started, which just goes to show the 10,000 hours thing is no bullshit. I cash my hours out way too soon. I don't know when I'll ever be getting back to this game. I do miss it at times. I've got plenty of figures to open, but until the basement is fixed, I'm just not even pretending that I'm going to do that type of shit. One day I'll be like action figure snaps and show growth. So far, that is not. I haven't been able to show growth in a lot of areas of my life, especially toy photography. My height, my weight, my penis size. None of that stuff's growing. Well, I guess the weight's good that it's not growing. The other stuff, not so good. All right, Nick, let's put this motherfucker to bed.
It is the end of the top 5. That means it's the end of our show. So, Matt, close us on out.
All right. Always a good time on these Tuesdays talking to all you fandos out there. That's still your names, right? Is that what we call ourselves or them?
Fandos.
These days, the fandos. If you don't know what we're talking about, it dates way, way back to when we first started doing the lives. We held a contest, and I think Fandalorians won instead of... I still wanted the Daywana Wangas. I love that one.
Oh, yeah.
Daywana Wangas. But, oh well, they're the fandos. What am I talking about? Who gives a shit? All you need to know is StarWarsTime.net is our home base on the internet. So if you're new here or you're an acolyte and you just want to keep, pumping out the show to people, stumping for us, all you need to remember, StarWarsTime.net. Send the noobs there. They can find the podcast platforms that we're on. Yes, we do a podcast too. Guess what? It's this show, just without our ugly, hairy, bald heads. Okay, audio only. So you missed the dropouts, Nick disappearing, Nick being frozen today, playing Bernie. You miss all that fun, but if you can't watch the streams, we got you covered. Audio only. They drop Wednesdays on all of the good platforms. All we ask, if you are listening to the show on a podcast platform, how about a little rating and review action? I haven't seen the iTunes go up in a few months. Let's try to get that into the 50s, 60s. Dare I say 100 of you people leave a ratings for us? We know the numbers are there. All right, you might not see it on YouTube, but if we tabulate all the numbers, there is a decent amount of people that listen to this stupid little show. So let help us out. You don't see me with my palm. You don't see me with a sign saying "Single dad, no kids, need money." We're just asking for you to juice the AI overlords out there. Let them know. Let the algos know we are okay. We're cool. We don't grieve. We don't bitch and moan. We try to have fun. We try to stay positive, which, if you know me and you hear me saying that, it may sound like an oxymoron because I'm not a positive person. But I am for a few hours a week on this show until someone pisses me off. All right? There's always time for Star Wars time, my friends. Don't you forget it. Keep spreading the good word. Thanks to those in the live stream right now. We love you. We know who you are. Hit the like, leave a comment, clip this motherfucker. If I said something that you're like, hey, this might get him in trouble, clip it. Hey, this might get them some views, clip it. Hey, this might make more people hate them, clip it. All right? We can't do all the work. We got to rely on some of you people. There's always time. And don't forget, my friends, if you listen to the Star Wars Time Show, the Force will be with you. Always.
On this episode of the Star Wars Time Show, Matt and Nick will do their best to make a slow week in Star Wars sound more exciting than it was. Maybe they'll talk Transformers. Maybe they'll talk Diablo 4. They'll for sure talk about the latest Ahsoka trailer and how the show is now being released on August 23rd. And they'll also dive into some more Lucasfilm release date shifting. For those gamers out there, the dudes will also dive into the Star Wars Outlaws announcement and what this game could mean for fans of the franchise. Of course, the show will end with the Question of the Week segment and the latest round of Top 5 Star Wars fan artist features. Punch it, Chewie.